All right, so if you've ever wondered how long it takes somebody like a normal person, like not somebody who's a car guy that has a whole bunch of experience to redo an old car like my 1963 Volkswagen Double Cab, working 4 to 5 hours a week, well, continue on with me because you're about to see just how long, we're about to see how long it is. I have no idea how long it's gonna take. All I know is that by day, I am a computer nerd, okay? And every Friday morning, I come into the shop here at Dupage Auto Works in West Chicago to work on the double cab, okay? So you'll see right now in its current state, it's completely stripped down, okay? What didn't used to be that way, you can see from the picture that I have here that it did used to be painted, we stripped it down. You're kind of joining about, I have no idea, a little ways into the renovation or the work on this, okay? But it'll be super fun, that's for sure. One thing we know for sure is that I'm gonna learn a lot, you might learn a lot, then again you might not, but if you're thinking, hey, can I do this? The question is absolutely you can, because if I can do this, you can do this. Whatever old car you might be working on, you can do it. So join me, let's have some fun.
So when I first found it, I was driving down this little road in West Virginia, just coming back from camping with my girlfriend at the time. She did turn out to be my wife, so it was a good thing. So we're driving along, and we see on the side of the road this little antique place. And we're like, well, that's kind of cool. But I noticed out of the corner of my eye, bam, there's a double cab right there. So I did a quick 180 on the road there, came back, did a little bit of negotiation with the dance-off, paid the man, and next thing I know, we were shaking on it. This guy had a really kind of an interesting shape. It took me a while to figure out. But so anyhow, I loaded it up on a van or by a truck, and I brought it home. That's what it looked like. And when I first got the car, I literally bought one of those Costco things and put it right inside of it. This is it just sitting in there, and it lived there for like 15 years. Now, a while ago, I took it over to Greg's Auto Body. It's a place over in Joliet. They started doing some work on it, and that was November 3rd, 2014. November 1st, 2020, it went to a new home, and all the work that had really been done was that lovely lady on the front of it. So the new home is absolutely awesome. It's in West Chicago, Dupage Auto Works. And when I first got there, it's like I'm looking around at their shop and I'm going, oh my gosh, these guys are Volkswagen people. They had, best of show things. They had all these different Bug and Volkswagen events. In the main showroom, there's this beautiful old white Bug. I'm looking around just going, these guys are perfect. This is who I want to have looking at it. And then what really caught my eye was the Carmen Ghia that they had there. This thing is absolutely amazing. Looking at this, I thought to myself, gosh, if I could have my car look half as good as this, and this is what these guys are capable of, this is definitely the right place for me. It is stunning. The paint on it is absolutely incredible. Let me introduce you to these guys.
Okay, I'm here at Dupage Auto Works. Okay, these guys are absolutely awesome because they allow me to come in every Friday for about 4 to 5 hours, as you know, okay, and work on this great 63 double cab that I'm working on. They also do fantastic work, okay? They've got 2 different bays in the shop. Have been in business since 1982, so they've been around a very long time. They really know what they're doing. A very loyal base of customers, which we always want to see when we're taking our car somewhere. But as you can see from a lot of these shots, 2 bays, one that's completely dedicated to automobile repair of all kinds of foreign cars, okay? So any kind of foreign car they work on, all right? But then also the second bay is all the auto body work that my good friend Kevin runs and helps me to learn to be less of a knucklehead as far as working on a 63 Volkswagen Crew Cab or any old car. So I highly recommend that you check them out if you are in the West Chicago or Chicagoland area. They are fantastic. All right, so as you know, well, maybe you don't, but you're gonna know now, every Friday I'm here for about 4 to 5 hours, okay? And one of the mechanics knows that it's Friday when I show up. So every Friday I ask him the same question we're gonna ask right now. Hey Dave, what day is it?
Oh, it must be Friday.
One of the big things we've been working on is getting the gates all straight, and for the most part they open and close really nicely. The latches all work really well, so there's no heavy lifting on that. But it's been used quite a lot. You can just see, like, I don't know if you can see it, but there's little bumps and bruises all over the place, and that'll get taken care of with the body work and body filler. And there's a bunch of hammer dolly stuff that I tried to do here, and as much as I could, I kind of brought them in and out. You'll notice here on the back side, and this is actually the end gate here that I'm looking at. I've been using this, what I just call black goo, because I can never remember the name of it. You can see there's some here, you can see there's some here. So what I've been doing with it, which is really slick and so much easier than traditional welding, is I'll just cut a little plate here, and then I'll kind of bend it to make sure that it fits whatever hole it is, and maybe tap down, because underneath this piece here there is a bunch of holes, like you might be able to see here a little bit. And then you have all these just little rust pockets everywhere. And so I'll put that over the top and then make sure it fits there, and then take this black goo, which is actually, I tried to find it on Amazon, it's not available there. I think you got to get it professionally from stores. Fast line universal bonding adhesive. That's it right there. I'm not sure if I can zoom in on that post or not, but this stuff is just absolutely amazing. So we've used that throughout the body work in a number of different places already, just to handle the rust. And one of the things I had to do is, after we got the body all media blasted and we could really see what we were working with, somebody had put an extra set of tail lights in here right next to the original opening, and it was kind of cut in a big circle and really just completely jacked in. It was pretty terrible. So we took that out. I cut out as much as I could to just get around it, and then molded a new piece into it, and this piece kind of curves a little bit because that's the way the body goes. So I had to get that in, and then welding that was a real challenge, mostly because it's pretty thin, very thin. When I was doing this, I was definitely putting more new holes than filling existing holes, so there was a bit of a learning curve there. But right now I've got it pretty good. Just require minimum body filler for that, and we'll be good to go. The other work we had to do is the battery pan was completely gone here. So this is a brand new battery pan. Interestingly enough, there was a number of rust spots here, so you can see more of my black goop in here, which is just awesome because all I have to do is come over here and sand it, just like you would any other sort of body work or any welding. And it turns super hard, and it's completely rust resistant and just ready to go. So that's pretty nice. That's all new in there. And to do that, there's a little pan, a little flash pan underneath there that we took out so we could get all this out, and then that's all welded back in. And actually I may have welded and glued that, so that's kind of nice. Now after we got the body back from being media blasted, we noticed there was a big, huge dent right here in this dog leg. And so as opposed to try to fix that, which it was not fixable, it was just completely crumpled here, and they just literally gooped body filler on top of it and got it to the point where they can kind of get the door closed. Had to reorder a new dog leg. This comes in two pieces. Let me see if I can really illuminate it well for you here.
It comes in two pieces. There's this inner piece here, and then this is the outer piece, okay? And as opposed to trying to weld one on first and then put the other one on top of that and weld that on, I opted to weld them together first and then put it in here with some spots here drilled out and weld that. There's a couple different spots where it attaches to the body. One is right here, then on the back side here, and then up in here and here. So a number of different spots. And then this top shell of the pan here had separated from whatever that next layer was. We had to weld that in. That was pretty darn challenging. And then there's just some stuff under here you probably can't see very well. Some holes there that we needed to weld the plate over, and that still needs to be fixed. And, you know, we'll use this black stuff to come in here and finalize all these little lines here and here. I'll have to actually grind out some of that stuff right there because I got too much weld there. But for the most part, that's working very, very well. The floorboards here on both driver's side and passenger side were both pretty eaten up too from rust. So we put in new plates here and there. That one is yet to be attached down. Trying to figure out the best way to do that. It's just kind of been low on the totem pole. But this one is again in with the black goop all the way around. Welded a little bit over here to just really secure this spot. Well, it'll be having a lot of in and out motion. Okay, it's all black goop around here and around here, so it's just really amazing stuff. You literally just put it on, you clamp it, and it just takes over and is hard as weld practically. So that'll be yet to be done. So the radio plate had been cut out here so that they could put a bigger faceplate radio in there. So they basically just came along here and just hacked these two things out. So I had to customize a couple of pieces here, and then getting them in there was a real challenge, mostly because this is such thin metal here that I was really afraid that I would make more damage, cause more damage than I was repairing, okay? So, you know, along the edges here, these things are kind of folded down, right? Along here and along there to match these little splines that are here. So I got those pretty much where I needed them to. And then on the back side, I welded in just little tiny backing plates here that go down below and above where I'm trying to attach it to. And then again, use that black goop. And that black goop just takes over, and it's super strong. It's not going anywhere at all. I'm just going to put a radio block-off plate over it. So the radio block-off plate will just go right like that, and you'll never know that it wasn't, that it's not original. So that'll be pretty easy to do. And then the plan is on my parcel tray down here, I'll probably build not only a compartment for gauges, but I'm also going to build a compartment for a stereo. I do want to have really good tunes in it because I love music, and I mean, who doesn't, right? So yeah, that'll be cool. So it's coming along pretty well. Now, when I began work on this dog leg, it immediately dawned on me that I can't put this in and adjust it until I had the door on here. And so we put the door on and realized it was all out of whack because it had been hit here. Most likely this was a new door or a replacement door that's on there, because the doors doesn't have damage like that. But this upper hinge had been bent out, and it took us quite a while to figure out why the door wasn't closing correctly. So after a bunch of trying to do shims and that kind of stuff, I finally opted for the brute strength method. We heated up the hinge and hit it with a hammer a couple times to bring it back to where it was supposed to be. and then the door went on there nice and straight. So it's not always the best methodology to just bang on something, but you know, it's working out pretty well. It sits very, very nicely. I think I'll actually put it on so you can see what I'm talking about. Alright, so as you can see, once I get those adjusted correctly, it fits pretty darn nice. It's gonna need a bit of a shim here just to get that body line right there, right? And then as well, that shim will bring this up so that that gap and this gap are the same. I have the shim for it, I just didn't put it in. Basically bring it up. Right now I don't have all the bolts in it too, so it's not holding super well. That might help. Yeah, it definitely does. Yeah, just that alone brought it up, but this is something that we still need to work on. This is a little bit tight here, so we're gonna want it so that it's up quite a bit, so that there's just never any scraping that will happen there. But yeah, it turned out pretty well. But again, before I could install this, I realized it took about 2 weeks or maybe longer to get that to hang correctly. And there's a little bit more of a gap here than I'd like, but when we put that shim in, that'll actually solve some of that problem. It's challenging. It's all challenging. Don't fool yourself. So another thing that we discovered on closer inspection is that the nose had been, it had really been pushed in right here and right here. So we have this handy little tool that I can use to spot weld a little post onto and then slide hammer that post out. So I did that as much as I could. It's kind of hard because you're supposed to only weld it for a certain amount of time so it doesn't completely fuse and make a hole like this. But on this really thin sheet metal that VW uses, it was pretty hard. So I got all these holes that are going to be filled. So this will be bodywork here, bodywork here, bodywork here. All this is going to be stuff. And for the most part, whenever I could find a spot that I could get to from behind, I would just hammer dolly that out, and that's where a lot of these things have been somewhat repaired. But and then these holes up here are what will hold the emblem once we get to that point. This is another location where it's pretty typical to get rust down along here. So this has all been repaired with the black goop from the other side, from the inside where I can get to it. Here, this has all been repaired there as well. It's all been already sanded. All this has been repaired as well. This will just require a little body filler, but that has a backing plate on it that I really just put a bunch of weights on to push it against the body so that it would kind of ooze out the black filler stuff and fill up all these problem areas here. Without having to weld or anything like that. And then I just came over from this side and just sanded that. Everything in there will all be covered by internal panels, and we'll never see it, okay, unless I decide to take one of them off, you can see it. But for the most part, this is a really simple way to get this all fixed, all these rust spots, without having to break out the welder or cutting it out and welding in new panels and stuff like that. Since it wasn't too bad, we were able to do that as opposed to, you know, buying, they have whole new sides, they have just this, they have just that. A lot more work when you begin welding all those kind of panels in to try to get it straight again. So this worked out really, really well and was very, very fast as far as our ability to fix those problem areas. Right, this little side panel was another thing that was so rotted out here that I had to get a new panel going here. Quite a lot of work. I was trying to see if I can pull this out so you can see it. A lot of this is pretty rusted badly, so I had to actually fabricate a new piece that went in here, and that's just again in with that black goop. Okay, had to sort of cut a lot of this out. There were some problems here, but this new piece literally just will get tacked in right here. Okay, we'll tack it there and there, tack it down here as well, and then all this will be filled with body filler. I actually cut this a little bit short. It's a learning curve here. The better methodology would have been to cut it up here and then tack that down and just feather that back up with body filler, but oh well. And then this down here is going to require a whole new piece that I already have ready to go. It'll slip right in like so and get tacked in there. But the problem is that we're waiting on the floorboards to come in, and I'm not going to put this in until the floorboards are completely installed and ready. And then once those are done, then we'll tack this in finally and be off and running. So lots to do.